ladies, this is Jamie. Thanks for watching. I have a great video for you today. This video is titled The One Text That Will Make Your Ex Immediately Regret Letting You Go. A lot of coaches will tell you that in the midst of a breakup, you should go into no contact immediately. Others will tell you to get your feelings out, maybe write him a letter. I don't believe in either extreme. I do believe in going in no contact, and I talk about that in a lot of my other videos. However, I have devised something called the final contact or the final reach out. And I think this is key for high value women to do in the midst of a breakup. And it works, in my experience, 100% of the time with getting your power back and making you look so classy and so high value. It also makes that ex regret, or at least start thinking about, maybe I don't want to break up with her. Maybe she is the one. I would not suggest you have a conversation face to face in the midst of this. You do not want to weary your ex out. If he is wanting this breakup and you are not, or he has done something to force your hand to break up with him, you don't want to have a face to face right in that moment. I like the text because it gives you time to think about it. Ladies, we need to be wise and not foolish and just say things off the cuff without really putting a lot of self-reflection and foresight into what we're going to say. This way you can draft a text, you can read it, reread it, maybe read it to your friends. Contact me for coaching. I can walk you through it. But I have drafted several final contact texts for you to send to your ex in this moment. Now, they are all on an e-course called She Heals. It's on a website called she'severyday.com. I will link it in the description below. Get that e-course. I think it's $49. It is well worth the money, but it tells you exactly what to say in this moment that makes you look so amazing. It gets your power back. Now, I am on my laptop right here, so I'm going to be glancing down because I want to make sure that I tell you everything exactly. There can be several scenarios about who broke up with who and why the breakup happened. In my e-course, I have listed several scenarios of breakups that could happen and how you are going to respond. So pardon me if I'm looking down. Scenario number 1, they broke up with you for whatever reason. It was sudden and it was unexpected. Scenario 2, you broke up with him because of something he did. You gave him an ultimatum. He failed to adhere to it. He broke some cardinal sin in your book and kind of forced your hand. Scenario number 3, you broke up with him, but you were really in the wrong. You kind of jumped the gun on the breakup. Maybe it was a misunderstanding or something like that. Scenario 4, he broke up with you because you really did something bad. There are a number of ways that you can respond to all of these, but really, I'm going to have a standard response that is going to kind of work for all of them. We will just tweak it a little bit depending on your situation. I'm going to jump around a little bit here. So we are going to start with scenario 3. You broke up with them too hastily and now you regret it. You are going to text this. Feel free to pause me. So I'm just going to read it out. You will say, I like using their name. So you can say, hey, Jason, or something like that. I know I let my emotions get ahead of me and I ended things hastily. I want you to know that I regret it and I would like to make amends. I'm working on gaining emotional control in conflict situations. This is definitely my struggle and something I am willing to work on. I realize my actions hurt you and I'm sorry. If you're willing to give our relationship another try, let me know. I hope to hear from you soon. That is just very humble. It lets him know, hey, I overreacted. I just got a little out of control. It's something I'm working on. You sound very humble. You sound insightful. You sound self-reflective. You're asking for forgiveness. So that's how I would handle that situation. The last kind of situation that I had mentioned in the beginning was scenario 4, is that you did something bad. You caused the breakup and you need to admit that you're wrong. You need to sincerely apologize. And so this is what your text is going to sound like. Hey, I know you're probably angry at me for what I did, and I don't blame you. You had every right to break up with me. I am truly sorry for, and then fill in the blank, whatever it is you did. I am truly sorry for XYZ. I deeply regret my actions. I would like to try again. If you're willing to give me another chance, I hope to hear from you. So it's very similar to number 3. You are sincerely apologizing. Again, that's very classy. A lot of women and men, when we're caught doing something wrong or we overreact, we just kind of dig a hole. Well, you said this and you did that, and we become very passive aggressive, or we start gaslighting. Oh, it wasn't that bad. It's just best to admit what you did, say you're sorry, and ask for another chance. Now, not guaranteed they're going to give you another chance right in that moment. And so if you don't hear from them, don't text them again. Go into no contact at that point. All of these responses that I'm giving you should be followed by no contact. If he reaches out to you after this text, great. And in those 2 scenarios, he may not reach out to you right in that moment because maybe you have been blowing up his phone and he is sick of hearing from you. Text it and leave it. It may take him a week, 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. It may take him a while to message you back. That's okay. During that time, I know your emotions are going to be going crazy because you realize you were at fault and you want him back. Get my e-course. It will tell you what to do during this time, how to handle yourself, how to gain emotional control, how to transform into that high value woman, because he not only just needs to see the text from you, he needs to see you in a different light. He needs to see you growing and transforming and saying, wow, maybe I am kind of wrong about her. She sounded really sincere in her text, and she sounds like she really has seen the error of her ways, and that's refreshing. So just end it at that point. Go into no contact. Do all of the other things in my e-course. Now, in scenario 2, he did something inappropriate. You gave him an ultimatum. Maybe you talked about these things. He's failing to make the changes needed, or he did something really bad and you're just like, I'm done. But yet you kind of want him back. You don't think he's a terrible guy. You hated that you broke up, but he did something that just kind of forced your hand, and you want him to say, hey, I'm sorry for what I did. It was foolish of me. Can we give this another try? You're needing that from him. And until you get that, you're kind of stuck. This one works perfectly almost every single time so far. The women that I have been coaching, every single woman that has done this, the guy comes running back, usually immediately. So this is how this one should sound. I accept that you're not ready to make the changes I need to feel comfortable about this relationship. I truly think we would be a great couple. I want peace, happiness, and respect for both of us in this relationship. I know you are not ready for whatever it is. I know you're not ready for commitment, or I know you're not ready to meet me in the middle on this problem, whatever. You say, I know you're not ready for X, Y, and Z. However, that is what I need. I accept the fact that this is not what you want, but I cannot be in a relationship without this. If you ever decide that you want a more purposeful and intentional relationship with me, feel free to reach out. Maybe I'll be available, maybe I won't. LOL, best of luck. And you just kind of end it there. Again, go into no contact at that point. It lets him know, hey, I have these high standards, but I will respect the fact that you don't want to change to meet those standards. I'm not angry. I get it. I'm going to move on. If you ever decide that you want those things, reach out. But you also say, I may be available and I may not. So you let him know, I'm not going to be holding around for very long. I always like to put a little LOL or emoji after that. It kind of keeps the tone a little lighter. So you're not a blubbering, crying mess. You're not freaking out. You're not anxious. You're not waiting around for him. You're not bitter and unforgiving. You're just saying, hey, here's my standards. This is what I want. I accept that that's not something that you want to do right now, but if it ever is something that you want, you can get a hold of me. We'll see if I'm around or not. So you're letting him know, I like him. I wanted to be in this relationship with you. I thought we could make a go of it, but these are just some things that I have to have. Scenario number 1, you got dumped and you have no clue why you got dumped. He just said he doesn't want to date you anymore. He's not sure what he wants. He's confused, whatever. He doesn't really give you much to go on. Great way to respond. So let's say you've been kind of a little crazy, and you blew up his phone and you don't, you kind of now, you don't want to act that way, but you don't know how to get out of it. This is great. You just say, hey, Rick, I know I've given you some grief about the breakup, assuming that you did give him grief. Otherwise, you can leave that part out. Splitting up is not what I want. I think we would be great together. I was excited to see where we might go. However, I respect your decision. Maybe we were not meant to be together and God has a better person out there for both of us. If you ever decide you want a more intentional and purposeful relationship with me, feel free to reach out. Maybe I'll be available and maybe I won't. Only God knows. LOL. Best of luck. It's very similar to the other one that I just talked about, but this one leaves you very classy. It leaves you kind of saying, hey, I don't know why you wanted to break up, but you're not screaming for closure either. You're not saying why, what was wrong? Did I do something? You need to give me an answer. I need closure. This isn't fair. You're not saying that. High value women don't need closure. The fact that that guy doesn't want to be with you or isn't willing to change to be with you is your closure right there. You don't need anything else. So again, ladies, I want to see you win in relationships. These are what I call the final contact or the final reach out. They are in my e-course, the website, she'severyday.com. The e-course is called She Heals. I don't want to see you just survive a breakup. I want to see you thrive in the midst of it. And if you want that guy back, I want to help you get him back. You can contact me for coaching as well. I also want you to live your best life. And maybe when he comes back around, you've moved on and you're with someone even better. But this particular way to respond, these texts give you a sense of power. It kind of gets the power back in your favor. Because when you go through a breakup and it's not what you wanted, you do feel like you've lost control. You don't have a certainty about the future or certainty about the situation. You are out of control. And this gives you a little bit of that control back. Ladies, I hope you guys take this advice. God bless you guys. I will see you in the next video.